Just a couple of things about anxiety, stigma, and ethics. So when you don't get enough sleep, we're all grumpy, right? We know it. We've seen ourselves and we know we're grumpy. Well, we also have, so what happens when we haven't had enough sleep is we are irritable. We tend to be selfish when we haven't had enough sleep. And then we're fearful. We have this negative inference about every single thing that we see. And that's part of our grumpiness. We have little social intelligence. We're suspicious of people, all right? We have impaired decision-making because our system, I don't know if you're familiar with the system 1, system 2 thinking in Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking Fast and Slow, but we just are not really in the higher cognitive function. We're basically on autopilot, and the autopilot is grumpy and fear-based, okay? And very negative. So what happens with this is it produces less ethical decision-making. In other words, because you're selfish, because you're fear-based, okay? Because you're not able to control your impulses, what we see is less ethical decision-making in businesses across the country. And again, Matthew Walker's book reviews the literature of this in the business world up to about 2017. The literature continues, and those findings continue to hold, all right? So it impacts ethical decision-making and the bottom line. With respect to lawyers, again, Joan touched on some of the rules that are implicated here. Rule 1.1, competence, okay? If your cognitive function is impaired and you're fear-based, negative, and anxious with making negative inferences about everything, ask yourself, about 1.1. Rule 1.3, diligence. We already learned that, absence of sleep makes you slower in terms of performing work. You're less accurate, you're less creative. Are you being diligent? Communication is impacted if you're always negative, all right? So there are these ethical impacts on lack of sleep. I mean, there's more too. 8.4, for example, Rule 8.4 deals with conduct prejudicial to the administration of justice and harassment based on various categories. Again, if you're fear-based and you're looking at people who are, as a threat to you, as an irritation to you, how are you going to further diversity and inclusion? 3.3, candor toward the tribunal, or 4.1, truthfulness in statements to others. Those rules, again, are implicated. So again, lack of sleep has a huge impact on our ability to maintain an ethical practice, not just because it impairs our cognitive function, but it impairs our wisdom, creativity, and social intelligence.